The descent into weightlessness approx. 75 minutes. The world above dissolves not with a splash, but with a sigh. The surface tension of the sea, that thin membrane between air and water, parts like silk beneath your fingertips. There is no shock, no cold bite, only a profound, enveloping coolness that is neither warm nor chill, but simply present. It wraps around you, a liquid blanket heavier than air, yet paradoxically liberating. Gravity, that constant terrestrial pull, loosens its grip. You feel your body become buoyant, suspended, as if the ocean itself has decided to cradle you. You exhale slowly, deliberately. Bubbles rise, shimmering spheres catching the filtered sunlight from above, ascending in a silent, unhurried procession. They wobble slightly, catching the light in miniature rainbows before dissolving into the vast blue above. Your breath is the only sound you consciously register, a soft, rhythmic whoosh in your own ears, amplified yet intimate. But even this sound begins to merge with the greater quiet, becoming less a noise and more a vibration, a pulse within the stillness. The descent begins. Not a plunge, but a drift. You kick your fins gently, the movement smooth and effortless, like the slow beat of a stingray's wing. Water flows over your suit, a constant, soft friction that is more sensation than sound. Down, down, down. The light changes. The brilliant gold and turquoise of the surface softens, deepens into a rich, velvety indigo. Shafts of sunlight, now angled and weakened, pierce the water like spotlights in a vast, dark cathedral. They illuminate suspended particles, marine snow, they call it, drifting lazily, endlessly, like microscopic stars in a liquid galaxy. Your gaze drifts. You watch a jellyfish pulse nearby, its translucent bell contracting and expanding with the slow, inexorable rhythm of the deep. It moves without urgency, trailing ethereal tentacles that catch the light like spun glass. A school of tiny, silver fish darts past, a fleeting flash of synchronized movement that leaves no wake. No sound, only a ripple in the visual field that quickly smooths back into stillness. You are moving through a world governed by different rules, where haste is unknown and silence is the natural state. The pressure increases, a gentle, even squeeze against your entire body. It is not uncomfortable, but grounding, a reminder of the depth of the transition. Your ears adjust with a soft pop, a tiny internal shift that signifies passage into another realm. The blue deepens further, becoming almost black at the edges of your vision. The sunbeams grow fainter, more diffuse. You are entering the twilight zone, the realm where the sun's direct influence wanes, and the ocean's own quiet luminescence begins to whisper. You focus on your breath again. In, the cool water fills your senses. Out, the bubbles drift away, joining the silent ascent. In, a profound sense of calm settles over your mind, smoothing away the edges of thought. Out, tension you didn't know you held dissolves into the water. The kick of your fins is automatic now, a slow metronomic beat that propels you deeper into the embrace of the silent blue. The vastness above and below is not intimidating, but comforting. You are a small, peaceful visitor in an ancient, quiet world. The descent continues, timeless, weightless, leading you ever downward towards the promise of profound stillness. The only destination is deeper quiet. The only journey is into peace. Part 2. The first glimpse of marble and memory approx. 90 minutes. The indigo twilight begins to resolve. Shapes emerge from the gloom, not suddenly, but like thoughts forming in a quiet mind. First, a suggestion of a line, unnaturally straight against the organic curves of the seabed. Then a broader plane of surface that catches and reflects the faint, diffused light with a soft internal glow. Marble, ancient, water-worn marble. You have reached the outskirts. Your drift slows further, becoming almost imperceptible. You hang suspended, weightless, observing. The architecture reveals itself slowly, patiently. It is not the sharp, defined geometry of a human city on land. Time and the relentless caress of the sea have softened everything. Edges are rounded, corners blurred, Columns that once soared proudly now lean at impossible, dreamlike angles, draped in thick, velvety sponges the color of deep wine and muted ochre. Corals, delicate and branching like underwater trees, have colonized the stonework, their polyps extended in the gentle current, feeding in silence. The silence here is absolute. It is not merely the absence of sound. It is a presence, a tangible force. It presses gently against your eardrums, a soft, constant pressure that feels like the deepest peace. The whoosh of your own breath and the faint rush of water past your ears seem distant, muffled, as if heard through thick walls. The only true sounds are internal, the slow, steady beat of your own heart, a muffled drum in the cathedral of quiet. You drift closer to a crumbling wall. It is covered in a mosaic of life. Tiny crabs, no larger than your fingernail, scuttle sideways into crevices, their movements silent, almost shy. A sea anemone, nestled in a hollow, pulses gently, its tentacles swaying with an invisible rhythm. A small, brightly colored wrasse darts out from an archway, inspects you with curious, unblinking eyes, then vanishes back into the shadowed interior. Life persists, but it moves with the same unhurried grace as the water itself. There is no frantic energy, only the slow, patient pulse of existence. You glide over what was once a plaza. The floor is a patchwork of cracked tiles and smooth, worn stone, partially obscured by fine sand that has settled like dust over centuries. In the center stands the remains of a fountain, its basin cracked and filled with sand. But the figure within, perhaps a nymph or a sea god, is still discernible, its features softened by erosion and draped in flowing seaweed that sways like hair in the current. Sunlight, now a mere ghost, filters down in weak shafts, the illuminating particles dancing in the water like dust motes in a sunbeam. But infinitely slower, more graceful, you move towards a larger structure, perhaps a temple or a palace. Its entrance is a grand archway, partially collapsed. Inside, the darkness is deeper, but your eyes adjust. Massive stone blocks lie tumbled, creating caverns and passageways. Light struggles to penetrate here, but bioluminescence takes over. Tiny specks of light, perhaps bacteria or small crustaceans, cling to the walls, glowing with a soft, ethereal green and blue. They pulse faintly, like distant stars, illuminating the ancient stonework with an otherworldly light. You hover at the entrance, peering into the silent, glowing depths. The air, or rather, the water feels thick with history, with the weight of countless silent years. There is no sadness here, only a profound, ageless calm. The city doesn't feel abandoned. It feels resting. It sleeps, and in its sleep, it radiates a peace so deep it seems to seep into your very bones, inviting you to rest alongside it. You linger, suspended in the doorway, feeling the silent centuries wash over you, a gentle, cleansing tide. The heart of stillness and the garden of shadows approx. 80 minutes you drift deeper into the city's embrace, leaving the grand archway behind. The structures grow denser, forming silent canyons and avenues beneath the sea. You navigate slowly, a ghost in a ghost town, moving with the languid grace of the current itself. The silence here is not just an absence of noise. It feels like the city's natural state, its essence. It is a silence that absorbs, that soothes, that invites the mind to slow to its own tranquil pace. You enter what must have been a central square or forum. It is vast, open to the dim light filtering from above. The scale is humbling, yet not intimidating. The sheer antiquity, the patient entrance of stone against water, inspires all but a quiet awe, a sense of reverence rather than fear. You pause in the center, slowly rotating, taking in the panorama of the silent ruins. Columns rise like petrified trees towards the distant, shimmering surface. Walls adorned with the faint, ghostly traces of frescoes, perhaps scenes of life long vanished, stand as silent witnesses. Statues, eroded and draped in marine growth, gaze eternally with sightless eyes into the watery void. Your attention is drawn to movement, not frantic, but the slow, deliberate drift of a large sea turtle. It glides effortlessly over the ruined plaza, its flippers moving with the unhurried rhythm of the deep. It pauses near a fallen column, nudging gently at a cluster of soft coral growing there, then continues its silent patrol. It is utterly at home, a living part of the city's silent tapestry. You watch it, mesmerized by its grace, its complete lack of urgency. It embodies the peace of this place. Drawn by an impulse you don't question, you move towards a structure that seems less ruined than others, perhaps because it is lower, more integrated into the seabed. It opens onto a large, sunken area. As you descend into it, the light fades further, but the bioluminescent glow intensifies. You have found a garden, not a garden of plants, but of shadows and soft light. This is the city's heart, its sanctuary. The floor is covered in a thick layer of fine, silty sand, undisturbed. Rising from it are not flowers, but delicate formations of black coral, their intricate branches like frozen lightning, glowing faintly with captured bioluminescence. Sea fans, vast and delicate, stretch out like intricate lace, filtering the faint currents. They pulse with a soft, internal light, a deep, velvety purple and blue. Anemones, larger than any you've seen, carpet patches of the sand, their tentacles swaying in slow, hypnotic waves, glowing with soft greens and pinks. It is an underwater garden of night-blooming flowers that never fade. You settle gently onto the soft sand, your movement creating only the slightest puff of silk that quickly settles. You lie back, looking up through the water towards the distant, shimmering surface, now just a lighter patch in the endless blue above. Above you, the silhouettes of the ruined city frame this view. The silence here is profound, almost palpable. It feels like the city is holding its breath in reverence, or perhaps it is simply breathing slowly, deeply, in the rhythm of the tides. You close your eyes. The sensation is overwhelming. The gentle, constant pressure of the water, the softness of the sand beneath you, the faint, rhythmic pulse of the bioluminescent garden around you, a light you can feel through your eyelids. The absolute, enveloping silence. Your own breath is a distant, internal rhythm. Your thoughts slow, drifting like the marine snow outside the sanctuary. They become less distinct, more like feelings, peace, safety, stillness. The weight of the world above, of time, of worry, dissolves completely. You are adrift in an ocean of quiet, cradled by ancient stone and living light. There is nothing to do, nowhere to go, only to be. To exist in this moment of perfect, silent peace. The Garden of Shadows holds you, and the City of Silence welcomes you into its timeless, dreamless rest. Part 4. The Ascent into Dreamless Sleep. Approx. 60 minutes. Time ceases to have meaning in the silent garden. You might have lain there for minutes, or for hours. The distinction is irrelevant. The peace is absolute, a state of being rather than a duration. Your body is heavy with relaxation, anchored to the soft sand, yet your mind feels weightless, untethered, drifting in the vast, quiet expanse of the city's embrace. Eventually, a gentle awareness surfaces, not as a thought, but as a soft impulse. It is time to return, not with reluctance, for the peace lingers, but with the same unhurried grace that marked your descent. You open your eyes. The bioluminescent garden still glows softly around you, the sea fans pulsing, the anemones swaying. The light is fainter now, perhaps, or perhaps your perception has deepened. The silence remains a comforting constant. You push off gently from the sand, the movement slow and fluid, disturbing nothing. You rise back through the sunken garden, leaving the heart of stillness behind. But you carry its essence with you, a quiet warmth within your chest. You drift back over the silent plaza, past the sleeping turtle nestled near a fallen column, through the grand archway that marks the boundary of the inner city. The ascent begins. It is the mirror of the descent, but infused with the deep calm of the city below. You kick your fins slowly, rhythmically. The water flows past you, a soft, constant caress. You rise through the layers of twilight. The indigo deepens, then softens into a lighter blue. The faint shafts of sunlight from above grow stronger, more defined. They illuminate the particles in the water, turning them into shimmering rivers of light flowing upwards around you. You pass the outskirts again, the marble columns and draped sponges catching the brighter light. A school of small fish darts past, a fleeting flash of life, but it feels distant, unconnected to the profound quiet you carry within. The pressure lessens gradually, a gentle release, like shedding a heavy cloak you no longer need. Your body feels lighter, but your mind remains anchored in the deep peace of the silent city. The surface grows nearer. You can see the play of light on the underside, the shifting patterns. The silence begins to change. The absolute pressure-filled quiet of the deep gives way to a different kind of stillness. The whoosh of your breath becomes slightly more distinct, the rush of water past your ears a little clearer. But it is not intrusive. It is the sound of transition, of returning, but returning changed. You break the surface. The transition is seamless, a sigh rather than a gasp. The air feels cool, light, almost insubstantial after the weight of the deep. The sounds of the world above, the distant cry of a gull, the gentle lapping of waves against the boat, are muted, far away. They seem like echoes from another life. You float on your back, looking up at the vast, open sky. It feels immense, but not empty. It feels like the continuation of the ocean's quiet, just expressed differently. The boat is nearby. You swim towards it slowly, effortlessly, the movement still carrying the fluid grace of the deep. You pull yourself aboard, the water streaming from your suit. You sit on the deck, dripping, but you don't feel cold. You feel warm, deeply relaxed, filled with a quiet that resonates from within. You lie back on the deck, closing your eyes. The gentle rocking of the boat on the swell mimics the slow pulse of the ocean below. The sounds of the surface world are soft, unobtrusive, but inside, the silence of the underwater city remains. It is not an absence of sound, but a presence of peace. It fills you, soothes you, cradles you. The memory of the weightless descent, the glowing garden, the ancient stones, the absolute stillness, it all washes over you in gentle waves. Your breathing slows, deepens. Your muscles relax completely. The boundary between wakefulness and sleep softens, blurs. You drift, not into dreams, but into the same profound, silent stillness you found in the heart of the sunken city. The ascent is complete. You have returned, but you carry the silence within. And now it guides you gently, inevitably, into deep, restful, dreamless sleep. The city of silence is not left behind. It has become your inner sanctuary. Rest now, sleep deeply. The quiet ocean holds you.